Shalom and welcome to the White Rose Family Channel. Again, shalom. If you're tuning in for the first time, my name is Symmanayah. This message is entitled Wrinkle Removal. And some of you might think these titles are mundane or of non-importance. I present messages that I'm compelled to present to those who are drawn by the Almighty Father Yahuah to his word Yahusha, as written in John 6:44. To those who seek to do the desires of the Almighty Father Yahuah, recognizing that his word was manifest before us in the name of Yahusha. Wrinkle Removal, a simple title. Let's unpack it and see if it can contribute to a benefit to growing strong as a set-apart nation. Come with me, my brothers and sisters. Let's unpack this message. Be advised, our maturity is an ongoing process. Complete wrinkle removal will not occur until resurrection time. Take a look at 2 Corinthians 4:16. Come with me to 2 Corinthians 4:16. And my brothers and sisters, I'm reading from the eSword Scripture version. It says, therefore we do not lose heart, but even if our outward man is perishing, the inward man is being renewed day by day. And I will submit how this could also be packaged in a way where it says we face wrinkle removal day by day. We are made straight day by day in that renewal process. You see, Yashar'al, and even the English language, we can speak in so many ways, shapes, or forms. But when we look at the function of a matter, it could mean the same thing. Why is this important? For as end times ramp up, my brothers and sisters, as we begin to come closer to one another, as we meet for the first time, how we talk to one another, how we communicate, we will use different words to convey a thought. But if we examine what's the function of those words, what are we actually saying to one another, we can learn to speak apples to apples, oranges to oranges. We can learn to speak to one another and understand what one another is saying as the wrinkles are removed. Come with me to 1 John chapter 3, verse 2. 1 John chapter 3, verse 2. It is written, again, I'm using the eSword Scripture version. It is written, beloved ones, now we are children of Elohim, and it has not yet been revealed what we shall be. But we know that when he is revealed, we shall be like him, for we shall see him as he is. So, my brothers and sisters, the wrinkle removal will not transpire until we have taken off this corruptible vessel and put on what is incorruptible. When we stand before Yahusha and see him as he is. But between now and then, the wrinkle removal process, the discipline, the judging process will occur. Come witness the many hidden mechanisms that exist. Discover why it is necessary to be used by the Almighty Father Yahuah in the wrinkle removal process. Why this is important, O Yashar'al. Allow me to read Ephesians chapter 5, 25 and 26. Ephesians 5, 25 and 26. It reads, husband, love your wives as Messiah also did love the assembly and gave himself for it, in order to set it apart and cleanse it with the washing of water by the word. Now some and I'm going to continue some more to this. Some will look at this and say, oh, that's just talking about a husband and wife. But remember, it says, as Messiah also did love the assembly. So though the literal is pointing to a relationship between a husband and wife, it also goes beyond that. It is akin to Yahusha's relationship to his bride, the set-apart children of Yahuah, of which some may dispute. It goes on, and it's written, in order to present it to himself a splendid assembly, not having spot or wrinkle or any of this sort, but that it might be set apart and blameless. Remember, my brothers and sisters, there is the literal application in the spiritual. There are things that must be done, things that will be done. How many people have ever given thought to the process of discipline or judgment? That is something we would be exposed to, and we are exposed to. Sometimes not even aware. Take a look at Proverbs 3:5-7, my brothers and sisters. Come with me there. Proverbs 3:5-7. It says, trust in Yahuah with all your heart. Lean not on your own understanding. Know him in all your ways, and he makes all your paths straight. Is that a process that removes wrinkles? What are wrinkles? Could wrinkles be a flaw? Could wrinkle be a result? Could something, depending on the size of the wrinkle, be hidden in a wrinkle? But when our path is made straight, wrinkles are removed. We're able to see more clearly and appreciate what is before us. It says, do not be wise in your own eyes. Fear Yahuah and turn away from evil. Wrinkle removal takes work, my brothers and sisters. There are things that must be done. Do we know how to press, to iron, to yield to the Spirit, to remove all wrinkles so that Yashar'al may come together? Take a look at Proverbs 27:5. It says, open reproof is better than hidden love. Open reproof. Sometimes the things necessary to remove a wrinkle may not be something we appreciate, but if we understand it, it aids in making things straight and right. We may grow to appreciate that process that could be called a wrinkle removal. Revelation 3:19, where it talks about he disciplined those whom he loved. Do we ever talk about what does that discipline resemble? Do we ever discuss how to receive discipline, how to be renewed, how to become better, if for a season? Let me continue, Yashar'al. Let's consider these words. Matthew 10:26 says, therefore, do not fear them, for whatever is covered shall be revealed, and whatever is hidden shall be made known. Could he be telling us that the things that could be hidden in a wrinkle, when it's made straight, will uncover it, will reveal it? How is it revealed? Could it possibly be by the Spirit of the Almighty Father opening our spiritual eyes to see? Or having us being in a place where we can physically see what's really happening and understand it and judge correctly? Matthew 10:27-28 reads, what I say to you in the dark, speak in the light, and what you hear in the ear, proclaim on the housetops. And do not fear those who kill the body, but are able to kill the being, but rather fear him who is able to destroy both being and body in Gehenna, in hell. And it goes on to read, 29th verse. I'm in Matthew 10:29. And no two sparrows sold for a copper coin, and not one of them falls to the ground without your Father. And even the hairs on your head are all numbered. You see, in spite of the wrinkles that may exist, the Almighty Father knows what is needed to make things straight. It goes on to say in the 31st and 32nd verse, excuse me, my brothers and sisters. So do not fear. You are worth more than many sparrows. Everyone, therefore, who shall confess me before men, him I shall also confess before my Father, who is in the heavens. And it goes on to say in the 33rd verse, my brothers and sisters, but whoever shall deny me before men, him I shall deny before my Father who is in the heavens. Keep in mind, my brothers and sisters, wrinkle removal is a process needed for our outward growth, to receive what has been revealed to us and know what to do, to understand why it's necessary to make things straight, to understand what matters are relevant versus what's not. Do not just glare over scriptures. Recognize that they require actions to bring them to life. If we just glare over, my brothers and sisters, we just may miss that they're loaded with instruction and wisdom. When things are uncovered, it is good to be in a position to identify what is revealed accurately. Yeah, so it's not just a matter of making straight, but what do we see once something is uncovered? Once something is revealed to us? What do we do with what we see? How do we act? Come with me to Luke 6:38. It says, give and it shall be given to you, a good measure, pressed down and shaken together, and running over shall be put into your lap. For with the same measurement which you measure, it shall be measured back to you. It say pressed down and shaken together and running over. Is it similar to ironing a piece of cloth? Do we press the heated iron to that cloth to straighten it out? And through straightening things out, through the dimensions change. Is a garment full of wrinkle when its iron becomes enlarged as the fibers are straightened? Sure, you might say, that doesn't mean anything. Why are you talking to me at this? Think about us spiritually, my brothers and sisters. When pressed to examine a matter more thoroughly, do understanding improve? Do our ability to yield and grow in wisdom improve? Does it run over to where we spill over and speak to others things that are good, things that are wise? Sometimes, my brothers and sisters, sometimes there are tools that must be used for wrinkle removal. Within the simplest of experiences, one can discover that natural actions can provide wisdom. Think about those who have never used an iron to make a garment straight or neat. And of course, linen, a set-apart material, is wrinkling. So you're not going to always get all the wrinkles out of a garment. But some wrinkles, as they are removed, make the garment more appealing. The more wrinkles that are made straight, make us see something and appreciate something better. Now think about that in our spiritual and set-apart walk. The more things uncovered, the more things we work on to improve ourselves, could be akin to wrinkle removal, my brothers and sisters. Whoever would have thought just by using an iron impressing something and looking at that garment and being pleased with that garment, that can apply spiritually, even mentally. Presenting a garment, or as some may say, ironing a garment, requires work. And just as that natural thing requires work, garments are positioned in a specific way in order to complete the task of wrinkle removal. So are we in the right position? Are we in the right state of mind? Are we right for growing in maturity and receiving correction and discipline? Stay with me, O Yashar'al. Take a look at Romans 12, 1 and 2. Romans 12, 1 and 2 says, I call upon you, therefore, brothers, through the compassion of the Elohim, to present your bodies a living offering, set apart, well-pleasing to Elohim, your reasonable worship. Do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind, so that you prove what is that good and well-pleasing and perfect desire of the Almighty Father. See, the world might just look at the literal wrinkle and iron and say, that don't have nothing to do with spiritually. There's no connection. But it says, be not conformed to the world. Don't just look at everything so simplistically. There's nothing wrong with that. But what is it? What else can be gained from the simplest to the complex? How does that strengthen our mind, our spirit, our walk? Test it and see, my brothers and sisters. Can you see how just by thinking about what transpired? Ask a person that knows what it is to iron a garment. What does that do for them? What did it take? Did they have to be careful that they didn't get burned by a hot iron? You see, wrinkle removal, we must be careful of the tools we use and understand how to use them. This occurs spiritually as well, my brother, my sister. Look at 2 Corinthians 4, 7, and 8. Come with me there. 2 Corinthians 4, 7, and 8, my brothers and sisters. It is written, and we have this treasure in earthen vessels, so that the excellence of the power might be of the Almighty One, it says Elohim, and not of us, being hard pressed on every side, but not crushed, being perplexed, but not despair. Hard pressed, my brothers and sisters, mentally, spiritually, but not crushed. Being perplexed, but not despair. Being persecuted, but not forsaken, being thrown down, but not destroyed, always bearing about the body the dying of the Master Yahusha, that the life of Yahusha might also be manifest in our bodies, him working in us, through us, one towards another. Remember, my brothers and sisters, to each is given specific gifts. These gifts contribute towards growing strong together in set-apartness. Believe it or not, they aid in wrinkle removal, uncovering what is needed or what must be removed to grow stronger. We are given talents, gifts to help build Yashar'al stronger. Let's take a look, my brothers and sisters, at Ephesians 4, starting with the 11 and 12, and there's more to it. And it says here, and he gave some as emissaries, and some as prophets, some as evangelists, some as shepherds and teachers, for the perfecting of the set-apart ones, to the work of service, to a building up of the body Messiah. And it continues on. I'm in the 4th chapter of Ephesians, verse 13. Until we all come to the unity of belief and the knowledge of the Son of Elohim, to a perfect man, to the measure of the statures of the completeness of Messiah. 14, 15 verse. I'm still in the 4th chapter of Ephesians. And he goes on to say, my brothers and sisters, so that we should no longer be children tossed and borne about every wind of teaching by the trickery of men and cleverness unto the craftiness of leading astray, but maintaining the truth in love, we grow up in all respect into him who is the head, Messiah. And it goes on to say, for whom the entire body, 16th verse, joined and knit together by what every joint supplies, according to the working by which each part does its share, causes growth of the body for the building up of itself in love. My brothers and sisters, it is important. You might say, well, what does this have to do with wrinkle removal? We must begin to realize that our gifts come with purpose. The purpose of perfecting the body of the Almighty Yahuah. Think about it, my brothers and sisters. If we all balled up like a piece of paper, how then can we accurately identify the different gifts that we have? If we balled up a little bit and let the wrinkle remain, how then can we be fitted together wisely as a puzzle to function in unity? Unless we welcome the things that remove the wrinkle, the things that make clear the identity of the gifts that we have received from the Almighty Father, who has given thought to such. The Almighty Father, Yahuah, would never expect us to perform any task unprepared. Wrinkle removal will uncover some things that will have a negative effect, and some things we want to hold on to, some things we want to hide, but don't need, my brothers and sisters, must let go of. Have you ever witnessed a person become angry because something has been exposed? I have witnessed individuals grow defensive, angry, and more when something personal is exposed. We must therefore be equipped with the wisdom and know-how to respond, to get past our egos, our feelings, and embrace the things that make us set apart, but yet come together with the different gifts and skills that the Almighty Father has entrusted us with. It is written, my brothers and sisters, in Philippians 3:12 and 13. So come and take a look with me, my brother, my sister. Philippians 3:12 and 13. It says, not that I have already received or already been perfected, but I press. Is not press akin to iron, pushing, pressure? He said, I press on to lay hold of that which Messiah Yahusha also laid hold of me. Brothers, I do not count myself to have laid hold of it yet, but only this, forgetting what is behind and reaching out for what lies ahead. Something's happening. It requires us to do the right thing, to press forward, to exercise set-apart discipline, to move in the way we should move and govern ourselves. It goes on in the 14th and 15th verse. I'm still in the 3rd chapter of Philippians. And he say, I press on towards the goal for the prize of the high calling of Elohim and Messiah Yahusha. As many then as are perfect should have this mind. And if you think differently in any respect, Elohim should also reveal this to you. Remove the wrinkle and show us what is necessary. When we read and seek the life in the scriptures, we can discover immeasurably how the Almighty Father guides us. We can discover immeasurable things, my brothers and sisters. Let's take a look at Luke 13th chapter, verse 24. Luke 13:24 reads, strive to enter through the narrow gate, because many, I say to you, shall seek to enter in and shall not be able. Let me pause for a minute, my brothers and sisters. Picture this. Picture trying to get through the narrow gate and carry as much as you can carry. Now, believe it or not, as end times ramp up and movement begin, there are many of us who will be trying to carry a lot of stuff to wherever we're moving to. And we will have to set priorities and leave some stuff behind, some things carry. Do you know sometimes wrinkle removal causes us to think and see things more clearly and identify what we can take and what we can't take, and identify what we have hidden that may not be necessary to take with us. This might seem off the wall or disjointed. Just think about wrinkle removal as an uncovering, as an enlightenment, a process to make things straight. In order to get through the narrow gate requires being able to prioritize and choose wisely. Are we aware that more can be brought together when things are pressed versus wrinkled? In other words, we're able to see where and how to place things more clearly. Like I said, my brothers and sisters, this may seem simple and unneeded, but ask anyone who is skillful in iron, what are natural practices that can transfer to educating us spiritually? Just test it. And we'll see how wisdom waits for us to open our arms and mind to receive it. Wise things that help us to think wisely, work wisely, process things more wisely. Did you know that iron sharpened iron is part of wrinkle removal process? Yes, iron sharpened iron is part of the wrinkle removal process. Make note, Yashar'al. This example deals with like metals, meaning like minds. Iron sharpening iron is not iron. You take iron trying to sharpen aluminum foil, you might tear it up. Iron sharpening iron are two like-minded individuals seeking to do the will of the Almighty Father. And the sparks that fly, if you ever seen iron sharpen iron, are the impurities that fly off to bring about a more sharper instrument, to bring about a sharper brother, sister, a more strengthened fellowship. Take a look at Proverbs 27:17. It says, iron is sharpened by iron, and a man sharpens the face of his friend. I say again, like-minded, my brothers and sisters, in the sense that we seek to do the will of both of us, or more of us, seek to do the will of the Almighty Father. These are like metals. It is interesting how the scriptures chose to use the word iron. Can you see the relationship as it relates to wrinkle removal? Or are you just glazing over it, dismissing it, and calling it a stretch? You see, the things we are taught as we grow and set apart, the more things that are related towards reinforcing the things we've learned that are set apart, the better things are. We'll find out when Yahusha talked about in John 4th chapter, when he talked to the woman at the well and said, I'll give you endless water. We'll learn how what is written, the text, the letter, how it's made alive and provide endless training, endless wisdom to strengthen and fortify our walk and set apartness, my brothers and sisters. We will understand why this is important. I spoke of gifts earlier. Let me also bring to mind the armor of Abba Yahuah. When things are exposed as a result of wrinkle removal, we just may need protection. Yes, my brothers and sisters, in that wrinkle removal process, when iron sharpens iron, we must make sure sparks don't fly in our eyes and our burn us in that wrinkle process. When ironing a garment, you must make sure we don't get burnt. When wrinkle removal uncovers, if you think of it as spiritually or mentally uncovering something, how one responds, we must be prepared. And it may take the armor of Yahuah to get through being used to uncover and reveal something. Let's take a look at Ephesians 6, 10, and 11. It says, for the rest, my brothers, be strong in the master and in the righteousness of his strength. Put on the complete armor of Elohim, for you to have power to stand against the schemes of the devil. It goes on to read, because we do not wrestle against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against authorities, against the world rulers of darkness of this age, against spiritual matters of wickedness in the heavenlies. And it goes on to say, read as, because of this, take up the complete armor of Elohim so that you have power to withstand the wicked day, and having done all to stand. And it goes on, it continues on, my brothers and sisters, to read. Stand then, having girded your waist with truth, having put on the breastplate of righteousness, having fitted your feet with the preparation of the good news of peace. Yashar'al, the armor of Yahuah, is necessary as things are uncovered. As we go through this process, knowing how to keep things straight, receive what is necessary to be straight, to be strong and set apartness. It continues on. Verse 16 and 17. Above all, having taken up the shield of belief, with which you shall have power to quench all the burning arrows of the wicked one. Take also the helmet of deliverance and the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of the Almighty One. All of these are necessary for wrinkle removal, for dealing with things that are uncovered, for rising up and becoming stronger, O Yashar'al. Verse 18 and 19, 6th chapter of Ephesians, read, praying at all times with all prayer and supplication in the Spirit, watching in all perseverance and supplication for all the set apart ones. Also for me, that a word might be given to me in the opening of my mouth, to be bold in making known the secret of the good news. Why does it say secret of the good news? Could it be one is unknowledgeable of the good news? Could we have forgotten? Do we remember? Do we keep Yahusha, the plan of Yahuah, the sacrifice, the resurrection? Do we keep him top of mind? Do we understand that he's our guide, our teacher? Do we understand that comfort comes in understanding? Yahusha brings much, but it's a process. It's an ongoing process that is akin to wrinkle removal. And I go on to read in the 20th verse, 6th chapter of Ephesians, for which I am an envoy in chains, that in it I might speak boldly as I should speak. My brothers and sisters, I pray by now we can agree there are a lot of things to consider surrounding the words wrinkle removal, that it is indeed a process for us to learn and grow, to be prepared for the things that are uncovered, some which are good, some not so much, but to know what to do. For end times will come, my brothers and sisters, and do not estimate the speed of remembrance that Yahusha will give to us as we study, as we learn, as we see how wise words can be everlasting, as we see how such a simple words, as such as simple words, and I'm speaking on Wrinkle Removal, my brothers and sisters. Thank you for your patience. I pray that you take this message and share it with others. Discover how we can learn a great deal from one another. The enormous span of wisdom is a wonderful thing, my brothers and sisters. Do not take it for granted. You see, we can spend time learning and growing in wisdom and discover that the fruit of discipline, the fruit of judgment, brings about room, if we yield to what is set apart, room to learn and discover more things and uncover more things that are better than arguments and disputes. Oh, Yashar'al. Rise up, my brothers and sisters. Be encouraged. I say again, wrinkle removal is a process. In order to grow towards completion, we will be brought into a body being perfected by the Almighty Yahuah through his word, Yahusha. Something simple, something that some may have dismissed and walked away from it and say, I don't need to listen to this. But somewhere out there, this message was encouraging. It may have even brought a smile. But no, there's so much that can occur to make us straight, to make us fit together in unity better. Pray about it, my brothers and sisters. If you listen from beginning to end, I thank you for your patience. If necessary, listen to it again and see if you can unveil the complexity of what might seem simple or absurd to you. If it gave you a bit of strength, if it motivated you, if it demonstrated how some of the simplest of words can bring about things that could contribute towards growing in wisdom, I say hallelujah and praise Yahuah. I thank you for your patience, your pursuit of set apartness, your desire to take the time to listen. On that note, be of good health, my brothers and sisters. Be continually encouraged, for during these intense times, there are things that help us get through it. Things we will receive that we may have taken for granted or never even given thought to. On that note, rise up and be strong, my brothers and sisters, and hope and pray that our expectations are shaped to receive what lies ahead from Abba Yahuah. For the day of rejoicing will come. I end by saying to you, my brother, my sister, my family, Shalom.